Welcome back from spring break. I just wanted to take a few seconds to go over our film reel and portfolio pages assignment that will be due on Sunday night. So most of it is really all you're doing is revising and refining. You've done all of the hard work and now it's about polishing. So your first step is to organize and evaluate your material. Go back through your films and the portfolio pages. Those are the write-ups that you do for each page, for each film. Really go through the films, go through them and identify what film is the best representation of your filmmaking capabilities, particularly relevant to one of the roles. So we've really focused on cinematography and editing, a little bit of sound, and you've basically directed every film, but it'll be really hard for you to support that you've done that. So I would recommend that you pick cinematographer or editor, maybe sound, but I would steer clear of that. Once you've looked over it, identify which film you are going to submit to IB, or maybe it's going to be a selection. So maybe you really were impressed with how you did a shot from film A, and then maybe a whole series of shots and in film B, and then all of film C or something like that. So you can compile or you can submit a single roll. It's totally up to you. And it has to just not be more than 3 minutes. And ideally you want it pretty close to that 3-minute mark. So anything that you can compile that shows the best of your abilities, okay? Then you're gonna organize and compile the relevant portfolio pages that go with your films. These are the assignment write-ups that I've asked you to do for every film. What you're going to do is label it with the role. That should say role, not reel. So the role and the film title. And very likely you didn't include a film title, so you will just make sure that you do so now. You're going to shape it into paragraphs, and you're going to add any relevant information and revise to highlight your specific role, your filmmaker intentions, your research. This can be the films that you watched that inspired you. It can be how-to videos. It could be even your practice techniques, okay? You also want to include any evidence. So this could be text messages, notes on a script. It could be screenshots of your editing screen, or maybe screenshots of like what you did in a shot that you really, really liked, you know, stuff like that. So you want to have the evidence as a sort of separate paper and then the film as a separate entity. And then make sure that you have a works cited page. So basics, you should really have 3 to 5 sources referenced. These can be any of the tutorials that go along with our instruction, the text, any of the textbook materials you might have used, any how-to videos. Make sure you have at least 3 to 5, okay? Have 3 to 5 pieces of evidence in your portfolio pages. Those are what I just went through. So any of those still shots or text messages, shot lists, setups, lighting, etc. Okay? You want to have at least 10 appropriate terms. This would be where you would identify the shot type you used, why you used it, how it created the effect you want, those sorts of things. Make sure you're emphasizing your intentions. Your intentions can be simply suspense. It could be like an effect. It could be a theme. It can be anything that you were intending, okay? And then how your actions in that role created that effect or intention, okay? The portfolio pages should be then collated into one file and eventually saved as a PDF. They should be letter size around a sans serif and a 12-point font. 1.5 line spacing. No student names may be given. You will have a table of contents page and a works cited page, and those don't count as your 3 pages. And then you do have to include indication of any or all music or sound effects that are given. So that so you want to make sure that you say a classmate made them and how they made them, okay? Or just get rid of the music or the sound effects. So this is what a table of contents page looks like. And you want it to sort of look like this. Now, of course, you're not going to have, you only have one role because of COVID. So you're just going to have 1/3 of this or 1/5 of this, right? So you'll have table of contents at the top. You'll say film production role 1, colon, and then whatever role, and then what page it starts on. And then clip 1, and then the title and how long it is. Clip 2, the title and how long it is. You could have clip 3, you could have clip 4, etc. Okay, actually really, I think because of COVID, it's down to 3 clips. Okay, and then here's an example of a works cited page. Notice it is, well, actually this is not a very good works cited page. So the one thing you would want to make sure that you do is put it in alphabetical order. So make sure this Murphy one is way up at the top, and then the rest would make sense. And if you need help making a works cited page, I can help you, although you have the EasyBib available to you, and it's done in a snap for you, okay? And then you should look back, because usually I gave you examples or I gave you works cited citations for you from a lot of the stuff that we did in class, okay? Okay, so some rubric reminders for the portfolio. Let's just take a look at number 3. So your examiner is going to look for whether your work is, actually we'll go through the whole thing, limited, adequate, good, or excellent. And what does that mean? It means, let's look at number 3, that you have competent, balanced, proficient, relevant, and thoughtful information on your pages. They give supporting evidence and provide a detailed and informative explanation of how your research and exploration, led by your intentions, made an accurate and relevant understanding of your film role. Okay? All right, and now the film reel. So your film reel will be 1 video file. I put that it's 1 to 6 clips, but I believe that's changed. So let's let me check on that and get back to you. They have to be at least 30 seconds each, and they must represent your best work in the role, okay? So you want to start with a 10-second black slate. That should look like what is in this bottom corner here. So you're going to have a black slate. It's going to last 10 seconds, and you're going to include text on there. If you need help, I'll give you a tutorial on that, but it's pretty easy to add text. I think you guys know how to do it, okay? So it should look like that. It should say film production role and what the role is, and then each of the clips and how long they are, okay? Again, don't identify any student names. Make sure you've blurred out any logos, store names, or copyrighted material. If you need help doing that, let me know, but hopefully you just never had it in there. When you're finished, export as 1 file. It has to be under 500 megabytes, and you can use Handbrake if you need to compress it, okay? It needs to be an MP4, a movie file, or an M4V file. It needs to be one of those in order for it to upload appropriately. And then just a reminder, when you're looking back at your films, what ones are good? You want to look for at least good, that it's capable, clear, effective, even robust in your ability to capitalize on the film role and the skills that you need to be effective, okay? All right, so everything is needing to be collated and compiled. By April 11th, this just gives me a couple days to make sure that it's in the right format, it's the right sequence, it's uploadable, all of that kind of stuff, okay? You want to have your portfolio pages, the works cited, the film reel, etc. Okay? All right, if you have questions, please reach out. And basically, this is what we're working on all week long. So we'll be in the lab if we're in class, or you should be working on it on your own devices. Take care.